I'm going to do a review of the Kel Tec CMR-30 carbine rifle, but I want you to know, so you're not asking and constantly asking me, this gun was purchased by a friend of mine, and he more or less let me use it to make this video to add content to my channel. So I will not be out shooting this or do any more, answer any more questions, how to hold up, whatever. I don't really know. Okay, but we'll take a look at this interesting gun, what came in the box. And I think the most important thing is I'm going to show you how to disassemble and reassemble the gun. When I was looking it over, I found that was the one thing that was kind of questionable, because the manual really doesn't explain it that well. Okay, and another thing, these guns are fairly popular. They sell out pretty quick, and I think the MSRP is 600, about 645 or something, and basically that's what the individual paid for it, putting in sales tax at about $45. It takes it up there close to $700 for this item. And I seen one on Buds. I looked it up. Buds has the same gun, I believe, for like $750. So it's one of these items, these Kel Tec guns, when they get really popular, you can see a pretty big fluctuation in price. Alright, well, let's take a look at what came in the box and what we have. Alright, when we open the box, we have the spare mag. It does come with two 30-round magazines. One is in the gun, or that's the way it was. This particular version has flip-up sights on it. I think you can get this without the flip-up sights, and they do offer them in a different finish other than black. And you have the manual. There's a manual. I guess those are an add-on, the flip-up sights by Magpul. So you get some instructions for that. You get several decals here, one for a window, another decal there. And you do get a tool. Well, once I get this out of the box, I'll show it to you. You do get a tool to adjust the sight. Let's see if I can. There. You get a tool. Alright, so let me get it out of the box and we'll take a look at it. Okay, you do get a manual, owner's manual. It does have some disassembly instructions in the middle, but I found a few issues with that, and I'll go over that. And like I said, this is your sight tool, and I don't know what the little orange lever's for. Some decals and Magpul sight adjustment instructions, because I guess those little flip-up sights are Magpuls. And like I said, I don't know if that is an option. I have seen these without the flip-up sights. Okay, which are these little suckers there. Okay, so this one came with the flip-up sights. Now, I've watched several other people's review of this firearm, and just at a glance with this, I did familiarize myself with this gun. One individual criticized, he said that the mag release or something, when he grabs the gun, you would have to grab the gun the very heel in an unnatural way to pop that release. If you handle this firearm correctly, okay, I don't see that being a problem, that mag release. Alright, I mean, you have to like grab it underhanded or something, but it could be a thing with some people. Now the charging handle, which if you look at it, it's on both sides. It is ambidextrous, or also you can just grab it like this to charge the weapon. Okay. You have a 30-round magazine, which this magazine is the same that goes in the pistol. And you get 2 with this firearm, and like the guy said, if you bought a pistol, you get another 2 30-round magazines which fit in both guns, which is kind of neat if you're really into this company's product. The safety you see here is ambidextrous, again, both sides. Pretty simple. You just go up and that's it. As far as sling mounts, I don't know, there's a little loop down here, but I guess it's something you could put on the rails underneath here to get a sling point mount. The other thing he complained about is the rails are kind of sharp, and when you're handling the carbine, it can be rough on your hands, but you can get the little rubber inserts to put in there that would alleviate that. And it's pretty compact the way it is, okay? And then there's this lever here that you pull down, and this will allow the stock to come out. And I think there's 5 positions on the stock. Might move the camera back a little here. Okay, with the stock fully retracted and the sights up, not that terrible for, you know, I mean, it's not like a minuscule weapon, but, you know, I can get a hold of it. I can line up the sights. If the sights are on, I found a lot of these flip-up sights, especially on AR-15s. This is probably an AR-15 style. Could be a little, you know, they're not that good, but then again, these are Magpul, so I don't know. And, you know, adjusting the stock, I forget it's 4 positions or 5. You know, if you want to. And then if you close it, it's a fairly little compact weapon that if you had a nice case for it or something, you can fold this thing up and toss it in the vehicle, the trunk, or up in the back of the pickup truck. And it's a nifty little gun. And 22 Magnum is not a cartridge, you know, to sneeze at. It's got some power in it. And I guess people said they hunt hogs, groundhogs, you know. I don't know if you could get up to deer-sized game with it, but it's still relatively more powerful than a 22. And this is kind of lightweight. Also, it has a threaded muzzle. I think it's 1/2 inch, 28 or something. And of course, this you can put, you know, muzzle brake or whatever that would, any accessory you would like that would go on that style or on that size thread, which is pretty neat. And you're seeing a lot of firearms are coming from the factory threaded from the start. So, pretty neat package. Like I said, unfortunately, I will not be taking this out for a range test. This was kind of just loaned to me to do a demo and have content for my channel. Now, when it comes to, that's the thing, you always want to take the weapon apart and thoroughly clean it. So you want to disassemble it, all right? And again, on a lot of the reviews I see on this gun, all the guys that go out and shoot them say lubrication, lubrication. 22 rimfire cartridges, because of that very fine powder in there, do leave a lot of gritty fouling. They get dirty. Any 22 long rifle, 22 Magnum. So cleaning the gun is going to be important, and getting this disassembled is a bit of a task. Okay, the manual says one thing, to leave the stock out, but we'll go over it here real quickly, and I'll show you the way that I do it. Okay, I have it with the stock collapsed. First thing you'd want to do, leaving the magazine, and you'd clear the weapon. Make sure we're empty. Remove the magazine. Okay, get that. And then just drop the bolt back there. Now, the gun is cocked. Now, it is critical that you have the hammer cocked and throw the safety up on either side. So where you don't see the red, safety's on. This is kind of critical to the disassembly. Now, there is a pin here where my thumb is, this disassembly pin. When I got this, it was down from this side in, and I had to drive it out of the receiver. Okay, and then when I went to reassemble it, if I reversed it, so the big head of the pin, which is right here above the trigger, I don't know if I'm getting good light on this or not, and then you see it here. Okay, and then you take a little punch or something, and you gotta kind of nudge this out of here. It's still stiff. Alright, let me see if I gotta give that a tap to get it out. Okay, I had to give that a little nudge in that hole right there with the hammer. And then you see our pin when it comes up over here on this side. And then you should be able to just withdraw the pin by hand. Here, I'll show you now, to tell you, if you look at the other side, the way that was in there, this thing does not want to go in. Okay, so remember, at least with this gun, the big head should go from the left side. Okay, now that we have the pin out, the reason they tell you to withdraw the stock, and I'll get the camera moved around so we'll show this. Okay, one thing the instructions tell you to do is have the stock folded out in order to do this. I left it together, but now I had to go and pull the stock out. And the reason is because once you get the pin out, safety on and that, you take this lower pistol grip assembly and you push it rearward, slide it off and down like this. And then that gets you your whole lower assembly and all of that. And also this area you want to kind of clean, lubricate, and just get ready to Alright, now we'll set this aside. Now this is where it gets tricky, because they tell you more or less this bolt's locked. I just took the charging handle, moved it back, got the bolt to unlock. And if you look where this recoil spring is, this recoil spring has tabs. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, this recoil spring has tabs, and this is kind of locked in to these grooves in the folding stock. So even when you retract this all the way back in the folding stock, see if we can do that. Okay, this has been, this is back, but if you look, there's this other large round piece here. And what you would have to do is you have to keep taking this backwards, the stock, and this whole bolt assembly. This. And you see this upper, this upper rod, it ends here. So you have to pull this back a ways, almost taking that out almost taking the stock off. One individual does just take the stock right off of this. Sorry about my hand again. But there. And now this is the whole bolt assembly. And as you got it, you can easily now twist this to where the tabs come out of the grooves. So you got these tabs, and that runs in the grooves of the stock. You kind of don't want to take the stock out. You might have difficulty in lining it back up, and there's a little wire down in there. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a little wire down in here which must be part of the stock retention. So I just slide it back up again, just to be safe. Okay, here's your whole upper bolt assembly and recoil spring. Okay, and this thing rides and grooves inside the receiver. And that's what you'd have to lubricate is the bolt where the grooves are, and that. Probably keep some lube on this piece. It's quite a large thing. And then we have a look in our internal assembly. It's pretty simple. You know, you can easily get to the barrel. You'd want to clean all the inside of this out here, in here, and inside. You know, this all has that heavy packing grease. You'd kind of want to wipe that out of there before you fire it. Okay. And we'll get back and go to the reassembly. Alright, we have everything cleaned and lubricated. And like I said, you can just barely take where the stock almost comes off. They say not to take it out, but you can, and if you know how to line up the grooves in that, and slide it back in. Now, we take our bolt recoil assembly, and as you see, the round end of it, you want that to go like this, more or less. Bolt down, round, flat side up towards you. Now, you got to get them two little prongs back into the stock. So you just put it in and gently twist it in there. So now they are in the groove. You go back. We got enough room, just a hair more, pulling back on the stock. There. Now we can start going forward with everything. Try to get the bolt up in there. And stock following it. And at this point, there are two grooves here in the bolt assembly. You want to find them flat spots, or the two bits of the inner receiver, and I believe that's what rides on there. There. Yeah. Okay, and all you do now, okay, push the assembly up to where it locks in. And this is where you want your recoil plate and everything to be right in here. Now this, like that, you want to make sure that this piece is, you know, behind it, and that you're, and you find a groove that this lower assembly will slide on the groove, and then you just slide this up forward into that position there. Now, once we find the pin, like I said, slide this up forward, and then now the pin going in from the left side of the receiver. See, I can't get it to go in on the other side. The pin should just, you might have to push that up forward and line it up. Okay, you got to put a little pressure on this, line it up, and then just push this in. You might have to tap that with a rubber mallet. I think I'm gonna give that a whack or two with the mallet to get it to seat. Yeah, that's still stiff on the other side. Okay, 1 or 2 taps to rubber mallet, and that is nice and flush where it should be. Okay, so still got it on safe. We'll do a function test. Make sure it goes back. And now it does seem to have a nice trigger pull on it. Actually, it's a bit smoother. The action is after I cleaned all that grease out of there. Trigger pull, nice. One guy does a review where he shoots this. This is a interesting little gun. You know, now that I've examined it from my friend, a little bit tempted myself about getting one. Alrighty.